again, I think that access to these public spaces, like the Appalachian Trail, like preserves and the stone church they have up in Dover. I think it's important to try and get as many people involved as possible. Try to involve kids while they're young, so when they get to be older, it's not a new experience for them. It's just part of their life, and I think that's just really, really important. So again, I want to thank all of you for coming out, and I'll see you out on the trail.
Thank you, Ryan, but I especially want to thank Mackenzie, because that's what this is all about. Thanks, Mackenzie. And now somebody that worked really hard to put this whole thing together, Supervisor Dave Kelly from Pawling.
Thank you, Karen. I asked Councilman Upham to join me up here because a little bit of housekeeping first, as I call it. Without my board and their dedication on this, it would not happen. And same thing with Ryan. So Ryan, on behalf of the Pawling Town Board, I want to please extend the thanks to your town board for all that you did as well. A year ago we stood up here and we talked about the dedication of the boardwalk. And I told a little story about that my family owned a store, and we had a log book that my parents kept of all the hikers, the thru hikers, or just section hikers that came through. And I thought it was pretty neat. I told my parents about it. I wanted to share it with everybody here. My parents on Monday evening, night of my birthday, gave me the book to bring today. And I was really hoping that one thing would happen. And it did happen today. The curator of the AT Museum, Larry, had asked if we could possibly donate this. So I'm going to take the message back to my parents and see if they'd like to donate it to the museum. And we'll keep in contact, Larry, so thank you. So if anybody would like to see it, it is a little frail. It's from 1971 to 74. I'd be glad to show it, but we'll keep it under lock and key with minimal contact. So thank you. Thank you again and good afternoon. I'd be really remiss if I didn't start out by thanking the vendors, the exhibitors, the trail guides for investing their time in our special day here in Pawling. I want to thank them all for making the trek here to come here. So thank you. Congressman Gibson, Brad Kendall, our county clerk, Kathy Giordano, our town clerk, Paul Upham, our town board member, and John Daly, our highway superintendent, that all had something to do with this today. And I thank you all. We all welcome you. It's been nearly a year since we've come together to dedicate the boardwalk. At that dedication, I did not realize the opportunity that I had to further my relationship with the top brass of the Appalachian Trail community. The ATC Regional Director, and so many others that I wish to mention, but just do not want to leave anybody out. Over the past year, it has been a whirlwind of activity. The application process, the town board presentations, the vetting of the application, the gaining of the letters of support, the passing of town board resolutions again, submittal of the application, the award from the ATC, the passage of more resolutions, and the final preparation for this day, special day for the Harlem Valley, this official designation. Through many phone calls, emails, conference calls, one thing stands true. We work together for the common good, without barriers or without borders. Being the supervisor of the town of Pawling, I know that the Chamber of Commerce, President Peter Criss, who's here, Mayor Liflin, the village board trustees, my board, have embraced, supported, and advertised every chance possible to promote this designation. As we say, Pawling has a good working partnership with the town, the village, the chamber, and now we can add our partners to the north, Dover. Woohoo! Being an elected official, I never promise anything, but I will commit one thing. Pawling has a long list of historical locations that we promote as a tourist destination. We now can add the Harlem Valley Appalachian Trail designation to that list. I want to thank everyone who's made this happen. It's a very long list. One of my fellow elected officials asked me, "How did you receive this honor?" I can only offer one reply. Some people want it to happen, but winners make it so. I want to thank Mark, Karen, Julie, Wendy, Stancy, and Peter for all that you've done. Pauling owes you the world. Thank you.
Thanks, David. He has been a joy to work with, as have been the entire committee. I'd like to invite Dutchess County Tourism Director Mary Kay Verba up. Mary Kay?
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today, and the Appalachian Trail has been always a part of my being since I came to the East Coast. I'm a Midwesterner. I grew up in Nebraska, but Pauling is responsible for me being here. Back in 1977, I was hired as the recreation director, and I lived in Merle Park. So for 3 years, I got to greet many of the Appalachian Trail hikers when they came through. And it was always well known on the trail that if you could make it to Pauling on a Monday night when the Pauling Lions Club was having their meeting, you'll get a good meal afterwards. And I had many Appalachian Trail hikers say, is this the night of the Pauling Lions Club meeting? And then sometimes when it wasn't, somehow they ended up in my kitchen at my table many nights. And it was a pleasure because the Appalachian Trail is more than a hiking trail. And I think the Appalachian Trail community, there's a common unity of people who walk this trail. And they may be looking for different things, but they have one purpose. And they come together as a community. And back in 1978, there was a thru hiker named Cindy Ross. And some in the hiking community may recognize that name. She came through hiking the Appalachian Trail, and it happened to be graduation day in Pauling. And there was a lot of parties in Merle Park, and they said, you'll never get a good night's sleep. Why don't you come in? I have an extra room. Well, they stayed for 3 days, her and her hiking partner, but we have had a relationship and a friendship since that time. So the Appalachian Trail really brings a long-lasting community. And it's so great that we now have this designation, because the visitors that come and go and visit places really look for that sense of place. And this has created a sense of place in Eastern Dutchess County. So I really want to congratulate everyone that's worked on this. And from a tourism point of view, we will continue to promote this to the best of our ability. We have over 4 million visitors that come to Dutchess County every year. So this will just be another aspect for them to come and enjoy. They spend over $451 million when they get here. So when you see people coming through and they're coming to visit sites, be sure to thank them, treat them well, because they keep your property taxes down. Because if we didn't have that tourism dollars coming in, your property taxes would be somewhere between $600 and $800 more. So really treat them nicely, ask them to come back, tell them to bring their friends, but most of all, continue to work together in partnerships and community, because that's the only way we're going to make it forward and make it together. Thank you very much. God bless.
The story of the AT is in part one of protected landscapes, and I'd like to invite Dutchess County Land Conservancy Project Manager Karin Rue up. Karin? There she is.
Thank you. So the Dutchess Land Conservancy has actually its history in working with farmlands, but we've been very pleased in the last few years to be working with Dover and Pauling further down in this area. In the town of Dover, we actually have had a lot of success working with the municipality on their Dover Stone Perch Preserve, and that's something that we hope to continue to do. The two towns both have demonstrated their commitment to protecting the Appalachian Trail, primarily in their inclusion of the trail as a natural resource, as an asset in their comprehensive plans. And in addition to that, DLC has worked with landowners to protect the viewshed of that trail, so that when people are walking on the trail, they're looking out over property that is protected and that is staying natural. I think one of the most wonderful things about the Appalachian Trail is that it is public access to land, and having the ability to be on land in a natural area really helps people connect with land, and having a protection over the viewshed of the lands that these hikers are looking out over really helps create a distinctive landscape that people can then feel connected to and enjoy their time here, want to move here. And in many ways, the Appalachian Trail and protected lands really contribute to the economic engine of Dutchess County, as was mentioned earlier, in terms of tourism as well. So we hope to continue to work with landowners, working with private landowners on protecting their properties. We have protected over 2,500 acres just in Dover and Pauling alone. About 800 of those acres actually abut the Appalachian Trail, and we hope to continue that success. So congratulations very much to both towns, and thank you for having us.
And our last speaker today before the official designation is my good friend Ed Goodell, the Executive Director of the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference. Ed?
My mom never liked me standing on top of the picnic table. So I'm worried she's out there somewhere. You know, I represent the volunteers, the local volunteers who work on the trail, and speak on their behalf. But today I think I'd like to follow that theme of economic impact that a number of people have mentioned. And, you know, really it's just kudos to Dover and Pauling for choosing to do this, to recognizing, to getting ahead of the curve. Because outdoor recreation is actually a very big economy, and it's a sleeper. Most people don't recognize it. In 2010, the outdoor recreation economy in the United States was $646 billion. That's like 2/3 of a trillion. And I don't know how many zeros are in a trillion, but it's big. I mean, really, I think the financial services and insurance sector just barely had a little bit more, but they had less jobs. There's 6 million jobs in outdoor recreation in this country. Now, I'm not sure how that translates here, but I can tell you I was involved recently in an economic impact study for a 30-mile rail trail in an adjoining county, and that's expected to bring an extra $3 million of economic activity into that county. So it's a big economy. Most people don't recognize it, and the beauty of it is you don't have to do a lot. You have to do a little, but not a lot, because obviously outdoor recreation depends on the outdoors. And I'm gonna wait for that. Stop. I'll go ahead. Sorry. So the great thing about the outdoors is not only does it give you recreational opportunities, but it helps clean the water we drink. It helps purify the air. It gives us clean recreation opportunities. It attracts people. It raises property values. So, you know, outdoor recreation is a big economic factor. It's something most people don't recognize. Kudos to Dover and Pauling for getting ahead on this. Realize that you've got a goose laying a golden egg here. Make sure you take care of the open space. Kudos for the National Park Service and the Appalachian Trail Conservancy for bringing us this program. And of course, my personal favorite, kudos for the volunteers, both trail and local, who make this happen week after week, year after year, decade after decade.
came, they spent the day here, they're going home. That's economic development. I have a pretty high risk tolerance, but I think the three of us standing on this picnic table might exceed my tolerance. So let's move the mic down and we're going to do the dedication from ground level. This land is your land. Oh, sorry. Wrong page. Whereas the Appalachian Trail founder Benton McKay's vision of the AT included opportunities for recreation, recuperation, and employment through a series of recreational communities throughout the Appalachian chain to be connected by a walking trail, and
Whereas the AT traces its roots to the 1920s and was designated America's first national scenic trail in 1968. And
Whereas today, through the efforts of volunteers, clubs, and agency partners, the AT extends more than 2,180 miles from Georgia to Maine within a protected 250,000-acre greenway. And
whereas Appalachian Trail communities are characterized by an abundance of natural, historical, and cultural features, many of which are protected and best viewed and appreciated via the AT, and
whereas this designation will act as a catalyst for enhancing economic development, engaging Dover and Pauling, the Harlem Valley citizens as an AT visitor, and Stewart highlights the AT as a resource and asset. And
whereas Dover and Pauling are recognized for taking steps to ensure the ongoing protection of its natural and recreational resources while investing in its future as a memorable destination along the AT. And
whereas Dover and Pauling, known as the Harlem Valley, is now recognized and designated as an Appalachian Trail community, an official designation conferred by the Appalachian Trail Conservancy, and desires to continue its efforts to support the AT and its community for at least 5 years.
now,
therefore,
be it reasoned.
Now therefore, we, the town supervisors of the towns of Dover and Pauling, do hereby proclaim that the Harlem Valley accepts the designation as an Appalachian Trail community and urges its citizens to support the AT through appropriate programs, activities, and ceremonies as the Harlem Valley AT community.
So I'd like to invite everybody that was on the stage today to come up and get a picture taken, and then I'd like to invite everyone else to join us for a little reception in the building right here. Thank you all for coming. It's been a wonderful day. You know,